you guys? Marty Schwartz here, hanging out with my new project, Marty Music. I've got another technique lesson for you, and what I'm going to show you, and we'll zoom in obviously, and I'm going to show it to you, is this great movable shape that you might have already learned as a D7 chord, right here. So we can take this shape, as well as many other shapes, and actually move them around to play as different chords. So this is a great tool to accompany another musician, maybe another guitar player, who's playing a 12-bar blues. This is just one of many examples that you could use this for. But, you know, it's a 3-finger chord, so it's not hard to, like, form. And you just got to use your noggin a little bit to figure out how to plug it in. But you've heard it, you know, from Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan, B.B. King, Eric Clapton, you know, Freddie King, Albert King, all the Kings, and all the King's men. You've seen it before and heard it, so I'm going to show it to you. Also, I appreciate you subscribing to this YouTube channel of mine, Marty Music. And you can go ahead and go over to martymusic.com, sign the newsletter, and you'll get a deluxe, you know, multi-hour-long course as well. And I appreciate all the support, because here I am, and I'm ready to teach you as much as I can. So let's zoom in and learn this right now. Here we go. All right, this is a really cool concept because the chord's real easy, and it may be a chord you already know, and maybe this will help you, if you don't already know it, realize that you can take one shape and play multiple chords with the same shape. So here's what I mean. If the basic concept is just a regular string climbing up the notes. That's the concept. So let's say, for instance, I've got the B string. In all of music, B to C, the letters, the notes, B to C is a half step, meaning the next possible note up. So if this is a B, then a C is the first fret. So that's a C on the B string. And then C to D is a whole step, so that's a D note. D to E is a whole step, so here's an E note. And you'll hear it matches up with the open E. Same note. So there's an E. E to F is the other spot where it's only a half step. So B to C and E to F are half steps. The rest of the notes are whole steps. So that's an E, half step up to F. Whole step to G. And G's our last note that we use, or last letter of notes that we use before it starts over on A. So G up to A now is a whole step. So there's an A note. And then up a whole step, you got the double dots, which means whatever string it is open, the double dots is the octave. So here's B again. So once again, we have B, half step to C, whole step to D, whole step to E, half step to F, whole step to G, whole step to A, whole step to B, B half step to C again, whole step to D. And that's going to work on every string the exact same way, but whatever your string is open is where that starts. So if this is high E, E to F's a half step, so F's right here. G, A, B, half step to C, whole step to D, whole step to E again. Open E, octave. So hopefully you get that. And the same concept works with actual chord shapes. So the only one we're going to do in this video is the D7 shape. So you might know a D major chord. It's going to work for that too. But we're going to take this and make it the blues version of D, which is D7. So it's first fret on the B string, second fret on the high E, and second fret on the G. And for right now, since we're going to be moving it, we don't want to do any of the open strings. We're just going to focus on what's called the triad, the 3 notes that our fingers are on. So D7. So if I took this chord shape, it's D7 right now, but if I move it up a whole step, I've moved every note up, so now it's an E7. E to F is a half step, so if I move it up a half step, it's now F7. If I move it up a whole step, it becomes G7. If I move it up another whole step, it's A7. If I move it up another whole step from there, it's B7. If I move it up a half step, it's C7. So let's test this out. I said this is C7. Let's hear how it matches up with the normal C7 chord that I know. They're the same chord. Now, it's a different voicing. These notes are up an octave, but it's the same 3 notes. Right? So let's try with A7. I have A7 right here. So I'm going to remember that. I'm going to just start, eventually you memorize them, but I'm going to count up from D7. D7, E7, half step to F7, G7, A7. So here's my A7. And let's hear how it matches up when I play my open A7. So another way to look at that to start kind of plugging it in is the root is a whole step up from where your index finger is, or a half step up on the B string from where your ring finger is in that shape. So if I know my B string notes really well, and it's just something you want to build up to learning the notes, I could see that that's an E note right there on the 5th fret of the B. So to play an E7, I'm going to go a half step lower on the high E to kind of mark, to kind of help myself realize where the chord would be. So the next step is to take these 3, or well, actually it's one shape, but to take the 3 chords of the E blues and now play a 12-bar blues with this D7 shape. And it's just, furthering your knowledge of the guitar, the fretboard, and also music in general, realizing that shapes can be moved around to play different chords. So let's go over the 3 chords of E blues. It's E7, so we'd play it right here with our ring finger on the 4th fret of the high E, index on the 3rd of the B, middle on the 2nd of the G, so that's E7. You could slide into it from a half step above or below in the blues. And so I'm just going to track my ring finger to help you. The A7, which is the 4 chord of the blues, or the 2nd chord in the progression, it's called the 4 chord, would be up here, where the ring finger is on the 9th fret of the high E. And then the B7 is a whole step up from the A7, so that'd be ring finger on the 11th fret of the high E. So with the 12-bar blues, which is, E7, A7, now E7 for twice as long, or it could also be either one, then A7, then back to E7, then the B7, the A7, and then the turnaround is a little lick. So E7, then A7, then back to E7 for twice as long. You could pick it out, now A7, back to E7. Now B7, high E 11th fret, down to A7, then the E7, then B7, and there's different turnarounds that happen with this. And that is basically, you take that E7, you hit, instead of that, you go. You just take that, I mean, there's different intricacies where you pick it out, but basically you got the E, half step, E7, then the B7. Or you could just hold it. So now I've got a loop with the 12-bar blues. I'm going to play right along with that. Here we go. E7 is what it starts with. Then A7. A7. And then the E7. B7. Always move it up a half step. It's kind of a blues trick. There you have it. All right. Hope you got a little something out of it. Yeah, I've got a jam track that's right on YouTube that I'll leave a link for at the end of this video. So check that out and you can practice this over it as well as your soloing, anything else. So look forward to that, and also more technique lessons. Can't wait to show you. And also thanks for subscribing to this channel. I'll leave it at that and just want to say thank you, and we'll see you again real soon. Take care.